Thursday at 6 o'clock. I'm really grateful for all the support. I'll try and get through as much as possible, but try and make it as relevant for you as possible too. So this is Otto. I don't embarrass his parents too much, but I think he's a really fitting player to have on the first slide. Otto is an example for technically he's outstanding, tactically he's very intelligent, physically he can run all day, he ticks all the boxes. But most importantly, I feel that we've developed Otto as a person as well. So if Otto doesn't make it as a footballer, which we all want him to be, I'm sure he'll be a massive success. So he is the epitome of what an Evo Academy player should be. An outstanding footballer, but an outstanding person as well. So you blushing? Maybe later.
He's paying the beer tonight.
Okay, so who we are. Evolution Sports was established in 2007 with the ambition of bringing high quality sporting opportunities to young people in Qatar and the Middle East. Today, Evo is the leading sports service provider in Qatar, delivering sport-specific training for all ages and all abilities, from grassroots to elite. The Evo network spans over 8 campuses across Doha, with an active membership of over 4,500 young learners. Now the academy program is around 100 to 110 players, so out of 4,500, that's the percentage that we're in. So the boys deserve a huge amount of credit for getting into the academy program. So what the presentation is on 10 areas. So we call it the APPP. In England they call it the EPPP, and it's based all around the player and 10 different criteria. It's a long-term strategy which aims to help the club deliver a more consistent model across all sports and develop more well-rounded athletes. So the first one is vision and strategy. So the Evolution Sports values represent our principles, standards of behaviour and the things that we consider important. This is the Evo way. So players should be professional, respectful, they should look to form friendships, they should be inclusive, they should take pride in what they're doing, have integrity, and especially the academy program, excellence in what they do. Okay, so this is our mugshots. We've got Tommy, who was the founder in 2007, who's the general manager, and then Ducky is beneath Tommy, and then me and Stephen coordinating an assistant director role. Stephen sorts the soccer school program, I run the academy program. Coaches, you should know this by now, so your lead coach, I will lead the under 8s, Ben will lead the under 10s, under 14s and under 16s, and Alex will lead the under 12s and the youth academy, which is our under 18 side. Our support coaches, these are invaluable, they all do these things out of their own time to help the academy. We've got Tom, who you'll see with the camera, and then you've got Segler, who will work on the sports science department, so he'll organise the testing. As the syllabus starts in a few weeks as well, you'll see him working with each group on a physical side of things. Okay, so coaching. Like I said before, this is really what we believe and what we try and implement throughout academy all the way down to the Cheetahs groups and the Panthers groups. We want to develop the person before the player. The percentage of players that make it as footballers is very small. We are developing these people, these young players, to be good people, to go and get good jobs, to go and get nice wives, to go and get a big house. We've got all those things for them before we want to make them footballer. And that's set by the environment that we set. So an environment where players have the necessary time and space to develop, an environment where all aspects of the program are fun, yet challenging, developmental and inspirational. An environment supported by outstanding coaches, a coaching program which is underpinned by the club's sporting values, a games program which affords all players the opportunity to compete at their own level, the development of well-rounded players who are independent decision makers, an environment which consistently produces good people as well as good players. So we look to do this by creating this environment. So coaching-wise, this is the contact hours that your players will get this season. And what we do is we split it up into phases. So we've got the foundation phase is under 8 and under 10. The youth phase is under 12, under 14 and under 16. And then the professional phase is the youth. So as you come through the system, you get more and more contact hours. And then based that on their week and their year, Evo is actually a really small percentage of what they get up to. I also thought I'd put in the Aspire contact hours. So Aspire, who we regularly play against and we compete against, they'll train for 10 hours a week. Not only Aspire, Arsenal, Torino, even any of these professional clubs that we come against in tournaments, that's the contact hours that they get. And it's not 3 members of staff, it's 30. So what we want to achieve, and we believe we can, but we're also understood that we're up against it as well. Okay, so the syllabus. So again, it's split into 3 phases. The foundation phase for the under 8s and under 10s is based around the individual. So we want to develop the individual 50% of the time. Then we want to develop their unit, so how to work as a defence with a pair or a 3. And then as a team, it works as 16.6% of their 6-week block. The topics are here, and basically every 6 weeks is a block. So block 1, they would work through all of these topics and then return to it for block 2, different learning objectives. The session breakdown, again, is based around that syllabus where we're looking at players with the ball. So they will love being on the ball and they have a lot of individual time with that football. With juggling, ball mastery, tag games, everything that the foundation phase needs is built into that breakdown. The youth phase, so now it becomes more about the team. So we're looking at 6 weeks of building through the pitch in thirds. So they'll work attacking, building up from the goalkeeper. They'll then work on how to press the goalkeeper. They'll then look through the middle phases as defending and as attacking, and then they look at creating and scoring and protecting. So when you turn up to a session, there is an idea of what the coaches want to deliver, and each week has a learning objective of what we want to achieve with the players. Again, this is all available after when I send it out. This is their breakdown of what they'll be doing. It becomes a little more team-based as well, and then we go into the professional phase. So this is our youth academy team, and it becomes very tactical and then back to individual. So we're looking now at position-specific, so their roles and responsibilities within that position. We're looking at movement patterns. So you'll never see me with an under 18 passing in a cone in a sequence, but when you get to Youth Academy, you'll see that we're trying to paint the pictures of a game more and more. They work through zones. I was going to put it on there, but it would have just gone, I think, over my head and your heads. And it just works all the way through, from individuals to teams to then that professional phase. Education and welfare, so it's not just on the pitch that we want to try and help. So what we do as coaches is every 6 weeks your child will get an individual challenge that will be based around their strength or their weakness. You'll get a newsletter every month. You'll have parent curriculum meetings. They'll have ball mastery scorecards where they can work on skills at home. Mental practice, which was fantastic. We had a player last year come to me and had issues with anxiety. So we went online, we created a mental practice questionnaire, and then we sent it out to you guys, and we got a really good response from that. You'll get player shields where the 4 corners of the player will be highlighted with a strength or weakness. And then just the other day we did some goal setting in the change room with the under 12s and under 14s. Massive part for me is the players socialising together. This is one of my proudest achievements since running the academy, is that we go to bounce, we forget about football, and the kids just get to be kids, because it can become quite intense sometimes, and it's important for them to remember that they are children and they are there to just have fun. Gondolonia, FIFA tournaments we've done. Something we're looking to introduce this year is a partnership with Cause, who are an animal rescue centre in, anyone where it is? Above Aspire. We'd like to go in there, we'd like to go and help with the dogs, clean the cat cages. That will be with our older players. Get them a bit responsible and understanding of what real life might be like. Team meals, beach events, all these things that we're looking to try and put into this year. So the games programme, the most exciting bit for the kids and the parents. Under 7 will have 2 teams in the QF League that will be on Thursdays at Aspire, as well as the under 8s. The under 9s will play on a Sunday, 5 till 6. The Qatar Community Junior League. Now this was just under 12s and under 14s last year. With our partnership, we've managed to expand it for our under 10 and under 16 players. And what we've managed to do is play the correct FA format with each team. And then the Youth Academy, the top of the pyramid, they play in the men's league, and they'll play on Tuesday nights. So upcoming games programme with residential. The residential was, the first time we did it last year was absolutely brilliant. It was so interesting to see the kids in that environment for the first time, where they're getting ready for bed, which players were staying up, which players were going to bed early, interaction, not just football. It was just a really fantastic opportunity for the players and an experience that all the coaches enjoyed. The dates, you've all been sent, confirmation for price and places will go out later or early next week. We've also got the Oman International Youth Cup. Some of us in the room, we were there last year. We played Arsenal, Liverpool, Arsenal, no we didn't play Arsenal, we played Inter Milan, Man City, Genoa, Barcelona, all of these academies, professional academies that our boys got to play and compete against. This year as well, as you've seen by my invite email, we've got another team coming, and what we've done this year is, instead of giving it as an opportunity for all last year like we did, we're going to select the 10 best players to go. Last year we were forced to go with 16 players, which meant a ton of subs and not enough game time for everyone. So we've come together as a coaching group and decided that we'll pick 10 players based on ability. For the under 12s, under 14s and under 16s, they will travel again in Easter. The location or tournament hasn't been decided yet because they don't quite release their dates yet. What we're looking to do in Easter for the older players is to play in their FA format. So we're looking for tournaments where they're going to play 11v11. Okay, so sports science and medicine. On this document is every test that each player does for each age group. As you can see, the tests become more and more as you get older, and they're based around sprint, power, agility, aerobic fitness, core strength, muscle endurance, and one that we just introduced is body fat. So we measure the player's body fat when they get to a certain age, and then we can guide them with nutrition and stuff like that. So most of you who've been at Evo a long time, you've seen this four-corner model for years and years. It's a really great principle to have, and it's an easy way for players to understand what it is to be a footballer. What do I need to have technically? What do I need to have psychologically, physically, and socially? All players at Evolution Sports are entitled to a comprehensive record of achievement across all aspects of their development once they enter the program. Measurement of the players' progress through their club. The performance clock is an easily accessible online facility which is available to every player throughout the club. That was done that twice. Did anyone notice that? It was that good, I did it twice. So basically your PMA or sports office accounts will log every report that your child has ever had. So if you're here for 10 years, you have an under 7 report and an under 16 report that you could look through at any point. You might also see the coaches taking notes during games. This all forms into the player's performance clock. So this is Aidan, who was in the under 8 academy last year, now under 9. On his is his grading, how many goals he scored, what he's done through training, what intensity it's been at, and that's available for you to see throughout after each session. So the Sports Office account is an unbelievable tool if you get to use it. So there's even an app now where you can download the app and you can gain and you can see what session you'll be doing that night, what fixtures are upcoming, how did I do in this session, what do I need to improve on. Me, Ben and Alex will try and give a couple of individual learning objectives to each player each session. It's a great tool for you guys to look at before and after the session. Yeah? Okay, so the signing process. So this is the best part of the job, is giving the player the bag and the white kit. The smile and all their hard work and dedication is incredible. So the players highlighted during turning recruitment meetings. The players then invited to the Advanced Development Programme. If he does well, and what we try and say is, can that player be at the top of this group for 6 weeks? They then get invited for an academy trial. If the player is accepted, they are given a phone call and scheduled email, as well as receiving an academy kit back. Now we go to the worst part of the job. So last week, me and the coaches, I think we spent 4 hours ringing parents. It was just awful, and I can't believe that I've got to tell someone that their child isn't good at football, because I just want them to love playing football. But we want what's best for the academy and their child. So the process for release is the players highlighted as underachieving 3 times in a term via the weekly review document. So when me and Ben and Alex meet every week, we highlight certain players. We then call it a danger of release meeting, and we set an action plan with player and parent. So we'll sit down, have a meeting. This is what you need to work on in the next 6 weeks to ensure that you keep your place in the academy. What we try and do to make it as fair as possible is during the term, all the coaches will lead a different group for a week. So a different coach might have a different opinion of a certain player might react differently to a certain coach. We also test players physically, and then we'll make a decision of release or retain. We then have a release meeting with player and parent, and that player is then put into the ADS program. They're given an individual report, action plan, and then what we've introduced this year, which I think is a brilliant idea, was we'll meet with all released players 6 weeks after they've been released, just to check how they're doing. We can go through their regular coach and we can give them an update on how they're developing. So talent ID. So talent ID is recognising and selecting players who show potential to excel at a more advanced level. Provision of the most appropriate environment for athletes to accelerate their learning and performance is what we call talent development. Oh, the big one, facilities. So, of course, we all know that we've moved from Alwab to the new venue in the Sale. What I can and I want to say is a massive thank you for all the parents that have really gone above and beyond to get their child to train. And I understand for players and parents that live in Alwab that it is a longer distance, but what I hope that you've seen so far is the environment of excellence that we're trying to create. The fact that players and the under 14s, they had a match last night, they had their match day kits on, they went into the changing room, there was music on, someone got someone's little brother in, was doing a dance off. This whole environment of being a footballer, we wouldn't have been able to do at our. The under 8s and under 10s, of course they don't need a full pitch, but they're in that environment. They're in the change room at under 8 and they're learning to talk to each other. They're putting their boots on, they're bringing their bag with them. Under 12s are now starting to come in slides, putting their shin pads when they get on. All these small details, it is why we moved to that facility, to create that centre of excellence. This is where we come to learn and train at our really high level. Team schedule, which you all know. You've known about the facilities as well when I sent this out. You've done a brilliant job of keeping to the do's and don'ts. It's really important to us that we understand this because who we're dealing with the facility could one week just turn around and just say, you're out the door. So we've got to try and behave and respect their rules as much as possible to make sure that we can give the kids the best opportunity that we can. And then payment process, just make sure that you pay. I normally start chasing around October time. The process is on the invite letter. So if you're unsure how to pay, just go through the invite letter and this document is there for you. So frequently asked questions. So this is stuff that I get asked quite often. Why don't we tell the players what decision to make? So can anyone count how many decisions the players have to make when a parent shouts pass? Can you see, boys? How many are
About 20.
30?
20.
20? Yeah, I reckon so. So when I'm going to, or you're going to your child pass it, they have to think about where, what direction, to who, what can they do with it, do they want it, what does it look like now, it's changed the picture. So what we try and do is we try and build the player's decision-making progress. So hopefully when the guys move on and they become all professional footballers, that's what we want, they don't need you or me or another coach directing them what to do. They have to have their own individual decision-making process. They have to know what to do with the pass, what direction to go in before they've received it. Us screaming and telling them what to do shuts out that whole process. Another one is why don't the coaches want to win, which is a complete lie. All the coaches play football to a quite good standard. We still play now, and if you come and watch us on a Wednesday night, you would see that we love winning football matches. In Oman, I thought I did a Jose Mourinho knee slide at one point, but what we would want to achieve before winning is how we win. So it's important to us that the players are brave on the ball. It's important that they're making their own decision. It's important that they're being respectful. It's important that they're playing through the thirds and the Evo way, the Evo DNA, the Evo philosophy. If they do all that and win, we're as happy as you guys, I promise you. We might not show it, but we love winning, but we only love winning in a certain way. We wouldn't want to win by being rude or being too aggressive or playing a really direct pass and just hoping for the best. Why do we encourage our players to dribble rather than pass? So this is more aimed at the under 8s and under 10s. Again, it goes around the syllabus and developing the individual. I thought this was a brilliant piece from Lego. It says, to parents, the urge to create is equally strong in all children, boys and girls. It's imagination that counts, not skill. You build whatever comes into your head the way that you want it. A bed or a truck, a doll's house or a spaceship. A lot of boys like doll's houses, they're more human than spaceships. A lot of girls prefer spaceships. They're more exciting than doll's houses. The most important thing is to put the right material in their hands and let them create whatever they want to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if we look and took that into a football scenario, it's us giving them the ball, it's us giving them the tools, the Lego, and then letting them be creative. Now, there's a saying in England, which I don't really go into, called let the teacher be the game. So they will throw the ball in, and then they'll let the game teach the player. So it won't be the coach teaching the player. It's got to be a right balance. The coach has to instruct the players, and he'll do that through questioning and answering. He'll do that through encouraging. Sometimes it might be command, where it's you have to do it this way. But especially with the younger ones, we want them to go and explore. We want them to go and be creative with football. what imaginative ideas can I do when I'm on the ball? This one's not so relevant this year because we're playing age for age in most leagues, but I think it's a powerful message. It's the same for any football player. How many games can players look back and remember clearly? Most of the games and seasons players remember are the ones that meant something to them. It has to mean something to really enjoy it and I think learn from it. We want games to be close and we want games to be as sort of exciting as possible to give those players those experiences so that they can take it in and remember it. That might cost us results, it might cost us losses, it might mean that we play older teams who are much more physical, but to get that experience, that's what we're trying to get at. And then that's it. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. If you feel more comfortable at the end coming up to me, I'll stay behind.
Coach, what's the timeline for the Oman team when you make that cut? Is that going to be sometime?
It'll be around next week sometime. And so the process will be you'll either receive a invitation email or you'll get a phone call just explaining why your child was selected.
Regarding one of the most critical corners of the four corners, which is the physical.
Yeah.
I can notice that there are no physical practices or training during the session, and all of a sudden they are to have some physical test. Okay,
Yeah.
so how can we improve this part, or how can we,
So built into the program and using Segula, we've got we'll do 15 minutes a week with their physical corner. Like we did with the hours, we get 3 hours a week. And we've got to try and prioritise everything within that. What we can do is on PMA is there are a range of videos that you can go through and use. Segula's also doing some action plans. So once we benchmark all of the testing this season, you'll be given an action plan based around that physical corner. It's so difficult. Aspire can spend 2 hours on it. We have to spend 15 minutes on it. And then we prioritise small-sided games, ball mastery, skill practices over that physical corner. But it's a great point. We also try and make sure that players have got a growth mindset so that they want to go home and practice away from Evo. What we did as well with the older players last year is we offered them free gym sessions so they could come in for an hour a week and they could work on their action plans in an hour. That will be another thing that we'll try and introduce later on this year. Long answer, wasn't it? Yeah.
Mine isn't about football, it's just
Okay.
the new facility.
Yeah.
Toilets for the ladies. I did have to use it the other day. It's
Yeah.
a staff toilet, no lock. Toilet's way over there, I can't even put my feet on the door.
Okay.
I was very scared. I didn't mention it to
Yeah,
the
yeah, no,
security
that's-
guy,
it's
but
great.
if you could just,
So there's the lock's
There's
broken
a
or there
lock.
isn't a lock?
but there's no key.
Okay, so what I'll speak to Asim and maybe we can get a key card and we can have one based just in the toilet.
Yeah, just, or even they put another lock at the top, or I don't know, but
I swear to God,
going really fast.
when we first got into the facility, they told us that no parents were allowed to use the toilet. So it was a pot or an I'm not sure. But yeah, that's a great point. If you can email me that so I can just remember to speak to security. And yeah, it's a shared toilet. Yeah.
Do you have an agreement with this facility for all this year or next year? What will be the...
We have an agreement
Because
this
we were
year.
far to Al-Wab, not from the Pearl side, from the other side. Now we are, I think we are living in the farthest point to the side. So there is a plan of moving our whole house, but if I move close to here, and if you move to another place, it's right here.
They could throw us out at any minute because someone wants a lock on the toilet. What we want to do is we want to make the most of it for as long as we can. If that means we're there for 3 years, then brilliant. If that means we're here for 6 months and we have to go back to our, then that's what we have to do. Like I said, the change was difficult, and I really, really do appreciate your support with the carpooling, just really clubbing together as a community to help the kids go to football training and to help me and the coaches develop them as footballers and people. Yeah.
Can we have some shadows to sit and watch the place, because they don't even ask to wait in the areas, waiting area, they don't want us to wait, they're just chasing. And we need some shadow where we can sit and enjoy the practice.
The shade is, I can't do anything about the sun. With chairs, what we recommended with our England pack was to bring your portable ones. Again, we're constrained against what the facility has put on and what we can offer. I would love to go and buy a whole stand of seats, but they wouldn't accept that. This is a World Cup facility. This is for Brazil national team, for England national team. This is for Liverpool when they come in December. This is what they built and what they want, and we've got the honour of using it. Yeah.
Related to this number of hours that the players
Yeah.
spend, what would be a real problem to increase it? I mean, do you have a plan to increase it? Because you made a comparison with the others.
Yeah.
If the players care, could you increase the number?
So Aspire is free. So Aspire, you go in and you train for 10 hours a week for free. For us to do that, the prices would go up. And we don't feel that would be fair on every single academy parent to ask that.
Okay.
But then to make the hours up, what we're doing is it's all of these things. So yeah, we don't train as much as Aspire, but Aspire aren't they're not as they haven't got that personal touch that we've got. We haven't got all of these home learning tools. They haven't got all these home learning tools that we're giving the players. Yeah, they might train more than us, but I probably think that we train harder. I probably think we train smarter, and we're giving these opportunities for the players to do at home.
It's okay, I'm not complaining. I mean,
No, I
fully
understand.
satisfied.
And that's it's just.
Because you said that the number of hours and so on, and I was thinking what would be the reason that we add 10 hours or
Even the pitch space, we have to fit in
pitch, yeah.
six teams, ADS program as well.
Okay, understand.
That's
For the goals, even the portable one, you won't be having any.
what's that, sorry?
For the goals themselves.
The goals? Yeah, we're just waiting on the goals.
Next
So it will
week.
be expected next month? Or?
They were expected last month.
Qatar.
Again, it goes back to it's Qatar. We're chasing, honestly, like I had to play with Poles as well. My men's team the other day, like we didn't like it, but
Yeah.
we've just got to be a bit patient. They are coming. Medium goals for the younger players and full side goals for the older players.
Two quick questions
Yeah,
about
sure.
the physical testing tracking.
Yeah.
So if your child was not an academy or came up through the system, is it tracked all the way through academy?
Yeah, so every result of physical testing that they've had will be on their performance clock.
Okay. And then the app, is there a certain thing we search for to find it in like the iTunes or in the...
Yes, is it the sports office? I think?
Yeah, sports office.
Sports office. So I've got an email drafted ready, and that's going to have all that app information on it. And then later on in the term, we're going to try and do like a video tutorial. So how to access it, what you can get from it, what tools you can use, and so on.
Thank you.
That's okay. I don't come across offensive. I don't mean to be. I'm just very passionate. Yeah.
I just want to thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And to thank you because you listened to us last year and you hired a goalkeeper finally. So
Yeah. No.
so yeah, it's a good thing that you are
Thank
Thank
you.
you for
It's really sad, but the coaches, like, their life is Evo. Like, we get told off for talking about it at dinner with our wives. Like, it's just such a big passion of ours, and we really do care, and we really want the best for all the kids, for you guys to try and make it as easy and smooth for you as it is for the kids.
Yeah,
Just like I said, if you feel more comfortable coming up to me at the end or call me, whatever you need, I'll be available. But thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.